What up, guys? How's it going? This is a new segment that I'm running, and this is Watercolor Wednesdays. So I wish I could do something really artsy and fancy this week, but instead I am going to do a T-Rex holding a soda. And, you know, why? Why do you ask that? I don't know why. I'm bored. I want to do something goofy. So I'm going to be doing that in watercolor. First thing I'm doing is the wash. The wash is the underpainting, essentially. I'm using this sketchbook, by the way. This is a watercolor sketchbook. It has been pretty good so far. It does buckle underneath some pressure, so I don't know if I fully recommend it. I just use it for demonstration purposes. I don't use it for anything personal, nothing to hang on the wall or anything like that. Not that I wouldn't hang this one on the wall. But let's kind of move on. I want to get the two base colors. I want to get a green and I want to get a blue. And I want to get kind of like a wacky blue, like, I don't know how to say it, like a more vibrant blue. Luckily, I do have a small amount of colors to choose from, so it's not going to be, you know, this insane journey. Because I've seen some of these palettes. Some of these palettes are amazingly, you know, diverse, and that's cool if you're really into it. But you know, you wanna keep it as simple as you can when you're starting out. So that's something that is really, you know, don't be too complicated with what you get. If you guys want, in the description below, I'm gonna put an Amazon link to the palette that I have, or a very, very similar palette. Check that out if you do want to start watercolor, you want to join along, etc. Get it. I'm going in here with darker colors now. I'm going to go in with green, because the first thing I noticed is with the wash, and that's one thing I'm kind of iffy about the paper. When I put the wash in, it really makes the paper wobbly, and you almost kind of have this fear that it's not going to go away. But it will go away, trust me. So I did kind of find that out. It will go away completely. Not completely, I mean mostly on this type of paper. I've since bought like much thicker, you know, way more structural paper since then. So it's, you know, I'm pretty happy with the results. Going in right here, think of the anatomy of the T-Rex, and if you do want to know how to draw a T-Rex, check out my other video. I talk about how to draw the head of a T-Rex. I'm gonna actually work. I could let this secret out. I'm gonna work on a how to draw dinosaurs book. I'm very obsessed with dinosaurs lately, and I think it's not gonna go away. I think it's like a disease. I think it's permanent. Pretty sure it's like what's a permanent disease? Not that one. Give me another one. Anywho, it's like a permanent disease. Like I'm really obsessed with dinosaurs, and it's not going away. So going in right here to the crest, the back of the area, kind of where his ear would be. Going to the cheekbone. I think the cheekbone on the T-Rex is called a... What's that called? Excuse me. It's called jugo bone. Going down. Right here, lower jaw. And I didn't show this part, but I did a very, very light pencil sketch underneath. Really light, really vague too, nothing too detailed. I did it with a mechanical pencil. So mechanical pencils are some of the best things ever. You can kind of go over it, and it won't you won't see through, where the other stuff will smudge like crazy. I really love the mechanical pencil. Going in here, and I want to put purple for the shadows. It's just a design choice. I find it interesting. I find it cool. I just want to try it out. So let me guys. Going into the pit of the mouth. A lot of these questions on my mind, like, what is going on in his mouth? Like how deep do I want to make that? Do I want to make it black? And I'm kind of bringing this up differently than I normally do. As you notice with drawings, I tend to put the darks sometimes first, and I've always talked about this concept. Sometimes you go from dark, and then you put in the lighter details, smaller details, or you make it come up, kind of like I'm doing this, where it is very similar to, I would recommend, I would say maybe like a Polaroid photo if you grew up in the 90s or knew of those old Polaroids, that they take a few seconds to develop. They slowly come up. And now I'm taking more that approach. I'm putting in color first, and then I'm slowly going in to darker and darker. Putting his arm there. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but the beer, whatever, the soda, whatever he's holding, the cup, that was a last second idea. That was right here. That was completely improvised. I saw his hand, and I'm like, I can't make this boring. I wanna do something dumb. And I'm like, you know what? He could be holding a glass of water, or a glass of either orange juice or soda. I'm just gonna say the soda. So between this as well, there are cuts because I had to let certain things dry. It's too watery, it's too manipulative. You can kind of move it around too much. So I did let it dry. There are sessions where I completely pause it, you know. Going in here with orange. I was trying to pick another very obvious color for the can. I didn't want to put, like, you know, dark green. Didn't put a logo on there or anything. So it could really be just orange juice or a cup of something. But I like to think it's soda. Going into the arm. Another thing that's kind of hard, and I wouldn't say too hard, would be separation within watercolor. Excuse me. I mean, I know I talked about it, but the hardest thing for me within watercolor would be controlling it. There's not a lot of control like within gouache or acrylic. You can kind of control gouache and acrylic really well. Like, you can make it do whatever you want. Watercolor is everywhere. It's like playing in a puddle or painting with a puddle. The teeth. As I'm actually doing this, I'm thinking the teeth are going to be kind of hard to maneuver around. Like, how am I going to make those obvious? So I made them yellow. The yellow's not really going to stick out too much, so I'm going to have to make them obvious another way. I mean, yellow in almost every color is hard to see. It's really close to white. I've tried it with other mediums, and it's really hard to see the yellow unless you contrast it with something else. Going in right now with a dark purple. I mean, actually, it's not really a dark purple. It's purple, but I'm just using more of it. I'm using a less watery purple. It's the same purple, I'm just using less water on it. Because I really want the hue, the saturation to come out in it. Painting the inside of the mouth, completely purple. And I'm throwing in purple in the eye a little bit. My original idea was to use purple for every single dark, but in the end I decided not to. I thought it would just be, I don't know, it wasn't standing on its own. I needed kind of a solid fixture, and I had to eventually use black. Going into the teeth. Underneath the jaw here, same thing, purple as well. I'm using the brush that came with the palette. It is a single, decent brush. It's very malleable. I'm being careful about the stuff, you know, in the mouth. Basically comparing the color in his mouth with under his jaw. I don't want it to be too similar. It might look like both openings. Like, obviously there's an opening in his mouth, but I don't want under the jaw to look like he's got like a hole in his neck. So I'm kind of controlling myself. Going back here, throwing in more purples around areas I think would possibly have shadow, I mean wrinkles, things of that kind. And also more around his eye. Going more in, I'm kind of still toying with the values. Do I want to make the purple basically replace my black color, or do I want to throw black in there? Now what I want to do is I want to actually get more saturation into the colors. On one of my sessions, I got up and I walked away, and it felt like it just wasn't getting enough. You know, there just wasn't enough hue. There wasn't enough saturation in the whole thing. There wasn't enough saturation or hue in the entire thing. So I started toying with it. I started toying with darks. I feel like it just needed black. It needed to be on the paper, otherwise it just felt like it was going to float off. It was too light. So I needed something to kind of nail it down, make it a solid painting. And to me, I felt I needed black. It's not always the truth. It depends on what style you're going for, but I just needed that black. So at this point, I'm going to start mixing dark colors with the colors we already have. Okay, I'm putting in less water into the blue for the background. I need the blue to pop or make the image pop. So I just needed more color. A lot of times you'll leave these colors in the back very light, like I did. But I wanted something different. I really wanted it to kind of, you know, either push the face forward or something to happen. So I just needed that bright effect. And I'm kind of using it very, I'm not trying to paint like a wall. I'm trying to paint around, give it a little bit of texture. I'm doing a dip. Going over here. But yeah, I need this texture though. I don't want it to be too boring. I feel like if I was painting a wall, it'd be too flat. I feel like if I was painting this flat, it just wouldn't be as good. It will kind of come together though, and it will flatten out, I guess, overall. A lot of this stuff is sometimes my favorite part. Well, not really. What it is it actually satisfies something inside. A lot of times this part actually satisfies something inside me where I'm like, okay, cool, the drawing's done, and now I'm kind of putting a bow on it, I'm wrapping it up. I'm doing the finishing touch. I'm just doing the background behind him. Putting it more paint between his teeth. Just kind of like finessing stuff around. You can reactivate watercolor by kind of, you know, clearing out your brush and cleaning it, and essentially going in with just water. And you can kind of move. You can just clear it out, and you can move stuff. So right now, what's going through my head is, hey, this is kind of cool, but it's not popping to me. It's not popping at all, and how can I do that? So I don't know if it's a cheat or not, but I have to throw black into this, and I might even throw a linear line to help me out. Some people don't need it, but right now I feel like I need it. I'm throwing in a linear line pretty much around everything to kind of make it pop, to kind of quarantine off certain colors and areas so that it'll just work for me. The other thing I could have done was I could maybe increase the value of the background in some way so that it'll push the figure forward. But at this point I was kind of losing patience, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna throw this line. We're on the can here. Underneath the hand. Obviously the T-Rex part couldn't do that because I don't think the T-Rex has opposable thumbs. But oh well. Fantasy. We live in the world of fantasy. Although this is real, but he is grabbing that cup. I doubt he did that. Going in here with the teeth. This makes it much easier for me personally on the teeth because the teeth were really giving me a hard time. Being able to throw this line in really saves me. Being able to throw this line in here really saves me. Throwing in this dark right here, but I'm not throwing the entire shadow into darkness. I'm just putting in some lines to kind of have that pinch of darkness. Tracing around the outer edge of the T-Rex. Trying to be careful at this stage, and I'm also trying to keep my line consistent with the rest of the line. Pulling down. I'm shocked at how much easier these strokes are than you would think. The last thing is I want to darken in the mouth. It still feels like it's missing something, like it's just not there. And I have to be careful. I have to be careful because once I put a certain detail in there, and it's there forever, for example, like that light right there in the tongue, I'm gonna have to up the detail everywhere in order to make it match. So that's why you have to be careful what you put in. Something still seems a little weird. And I'm just trying to put in more darks all over. And I'm the pit of the mouth, I'm gonna make that completely dark. That will be the darkest area of the drawing. I mean the drawing. That'd be the darkest area of the watercolor. Going in here with the teeth, the lower teeth. And just going in here, the upper arm, the upper shoulder. And I'm going to give a little bit more line right here. At this point, I'm just noodling around. Just kind of noodling, just kind of messing around. And that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you watching. Woo! That would be a T-Rex holding a cup. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all the time. Give me a high five. Also, check me out on Instagram if you did like this. Please go say hi to me on Instagram. My Instagram is sketchmonster and the number 1. Please go right now. Follow me. Also, I have a new Patreon page, which I am uploading videos on. And you can check that out by donating a little bit. And if you want like a drawing critiqued or something like that, I can go check that out on there as well. One last announcement. Check out the Armadillo pencil case, a pencil case we invented a long time ago. We're selling it. It is the coolest pencil case ever, but I'm biased because I made it. So you can check that out also. Thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you soon. Later.